So for my school children, whenever they hear that God is the rock, they instantly think of this fun song that we sing a lot of times. And I bet some of them can start singing this right now, and the words are like, who is the rock? And then they cry out, he is the rock. And we say, who is the rock? And they're like, God is the rock. And then there's this part that is taken from this. It says, the wise man built his life upon the Lord, 'cause God is rock solid. And then they just start like dancing and break dancing in a holy way. It's pretty fun to see. Especially the little kindergartners, they're the best. So some of you that are watching right now are probably dancing away right now. This word rock is so important. And it's so important for us to build our life upon the rock. Because rocks are just really cool images. They are things that both can save us, but also can destroy. They destroy the enemy, the bad guy, Satan, the things that are on his side, those different voices that are trying to get us away from God. A rock can destroy those things, but a rock can also save us. So think about, if you're out in the middle of an ocean, and you just happen to be out there, and you're not sure exactly how you're out there, and you're just kind of swimming, you don't have a boat nearby, but let's just say there's this rock, this little mini island. What are you going to do? You're going to swim towards that. If you're in rapids, if you're in a very fast-moving place, in a stream, in a river, and instead of getting swept away, what are you going to do? You're going to hold on to a rock. You can climb out and actually be safe there until help comes. Rocks save us. Rocks can destroy. If you think of, if you were to run right at a rock wall, and we're not cartoons, so we can't go through it and create those little stencils, but what's going to happen? You're going to bounce off. The rock is going to win, and you're going to have a big bump on your head. It's not good to run against rock walls because the rock will always win. So when we are following the Lord, when we're listening to the words of the Lord, He's the rock that we're holding on to. But when we're not listening to the Lord, what we're doing is we're sort of like running at a rock wall, and that's not going to end well for us. We're putting our trust in that situation in a sandcastle, saying this sandcastle is strong. And then just imagine if like one of your little brothers comes with, a little rock or something and then throws it at your sandcastle. Even if your little brother is a baby, if he takes that rock and throws it at your sandcastle, even if you're big and strong and you made this amazing sandcastle, what's going to happen to your sandcastle? It's going to fall. Rocks always win. That's why Jesus is called the rock. We build our life upon Him, and we allow Him to be our strength. When we allow Him to be our strength, then all of the enemy, and here we're thinking about, again, Satan. We're also thinking about the things in this world that lead us away from God. And then we also think about those things inside us sometimes that maybe move us in a way that's not good. Those different temptations that are there. All of those things, when we put our trust in those things, we're going to get in trouble. But when we allow God to be first, and we build our house upon the rock, then it's like all of those other things that are trying to take away our joy, they're like little sand people. Actually, that sounds like someone from Star Wars or so. But imagine not the sand people from Star Wars that make those really, really weird sounds, but think of like little tiny, instead of like gingerbread men, think of like little tiny sand people. And they're like running at the rock, and they're like trying to break the rock. If you're on that rock, you just kind of look down and kind of laugh at them. Because what would they do? They'd like take their little sand hand, and they'd go boom, and then their sand hand would just fall off, and they'd be like, and then they, take their sand, maybe their sand leg, and try to kick the rock, and then that falls off. And then pretty soon, there isn't anything left of these little sand enemies that are trying to take on the rock. That's the difference of when we have God being our foundation, making sure that He's first, and that everything that we do, say, and think always starts with Him. When that happens, the fears that are out there, the heffalumps and woozles that are out there, actually are just like sand that will always break when they come against the rock. So who is the rock? It's not the guy downstairs. God is the rock.